Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book Blood Rites by Jim Butcher, the sixth book in the Dresden Files series. I have had a very mixed reaction to the Dresden Files. I thought book one was fine. There were things I didn't like about it, but as a mystery, it was fine. Then I read book two. I did not like Full Moon. I thought it was boring. I did not like the creative decisions behind it. Did not like it. Then I picked up Grave Peril. Favorite book of the series. Amazing. So well done. Everything about this book worked for me. I was thrilled with the results of this book. I was all on board with this book. Then I read Summer Night, which was a pretty well done book. I thought it just hasn't stuck with me, and I didn't love it quite as much as Grave Peril. Then we had Death Masks, which I really enjoyed. It was almost on the same level as Grave Peril. I think Grave Peril is a little bit better because it has a lot more Michael in it, but still, I liked Death Masks quite a lot. So I've been, ready. It's been about 6 months, half a year, and that's usually about the time I put between these now. So I figured I'd pick up Blood Rites, book 6, and I thought it was okay. It was fine. It was good. It's not a top tier Dresden Files book for me, but it's not at the bottom. It's kind of in the middle. So that's kind of what I generally feel about it. The first praise I'll give this book is I really liked what they did with Murphy in this book, Karen Murphy. I thought she had great character development. She's not entirely a huge integral part of the plot, and her backstory is explored, even though it's not it's not a major part of the book. But whenever her backstory was explored, whenever there were discussions about it, her family involved, I thought that was all brilliantly done. Edge of your seat stuff. I thought that stuff was riveting. And so I really liked what they did with her. I also really liked what they did with Dresden, with Harry, and with his friend Thomas. I thought that their dynamic as friends, as co-workers in some cases, worked very well. The way they banter with each other. Apparently, Harry was a major part of previous books, and I vaguely remember him, but I don't clearly remember him. But I clearly know him now, and he's a major part of this book. And I was very pleased with the character development that Harry got. Sorry, that Thomas got. I remember, Harry's the main character. Thomas, I don't remember Thomas too much from the previous ones, but I thought that he was done well here. Then there were other characters. I thought that the rest of the cast was okay. There was nothing spectacular about them. But I had two main problems with this book. And one of my main problems is with the backdrop of the story, and one of the main problems I have is with the action. And really, it's a problem I have with the action of the whole series. For some reason, Jim Butcher's writing style for his action sequences just doesn't work for me. I check out whenever I get to an action sequence of his. Not because I'm wholly against action sequences, but just the way he writes them, I don't feel like I need to be reading it, and I don't feel excited to read it. And maybe that's why the books don't stick with me as much as they should, or do stick with other people, but I thought that the action sequences in this book, as well as the others, just don't work for me. And so that's one reason it's forgettable in that sense. The other thing I didn't like was the backdrop of the book. The book is set on he has to investigate murders happening on an adult film set. And I was very displeased with the way Jim Butcher wrote all of that. I think that if they had just written the story in such a way that it's just regular movie stars that they're dealing with, and it's just a regular movie set, I think that this would have been much more approachable to all audiences, and it would have worked a lot better, especially for me. I think that Butcher is trying to prove he has edge, and he's trying to make the story a little bit more edgier and cooler to people, and I can certainly see a lot of people finding this really interesting because of that. I, however, feel like he's writing off a significant portion of the audience who does not want that type of stuff in their stories. Some of the problems I had with the first two books were kind of fixed in Grave Peril because of the inclusion of Michael, and Michael offsets the other types of characters and the morality and stuff like that, and so he provides nice counterbalance, and so it works pretty well, which is also I think why Death Masks worked, is because some of the other characters had some good morals in that story too. However, here you don't have that Michael character. to off-play everything. If Michael was present, maybe this would have worked better. But if this had just been on a regular movie set, I think it would have. I think that a lot of the issues of the book would have been resolved for me. So those were my issues with the book. So I had some positives, some negatives. I don't have this will be a shorter book review than some of the others because I don't have a ton I want to talk about. There was a reveal in this book that I thought was well handled, and it wasn't just the reveal itself, but it was how the characters interacted after the reveal happened that I thought was pretty good. I thought that the villains, their motivations made sense, and I also thought that Harry's, the political situation was okay. It could have been better explained, but I kind of remembered the political situation of the vampires versus the wizards, the different courts. But that's actually one issue I have with the whole series is understanding which court is which. You have the white court, the black court, the red court. I don't remember any of them. All I know is you have the wizards versus the vampires, and I feel like this series would greatly be bettered if it had a glossary at the back or a cast of characters in the front or something like that that explains these are the different characters, these are the different courts. You don't have to explain everything. You could still save reveals, but if you just had general information that would help the audience track and also make it easier. Maybe I should have done some research, looked on the wiki for this, whenever the White Court showed up or something. But it should be generally accessible within the book if possible, which is one reason that the huge series like Wheel of Time, worked so well is because a lot of the information is right there in the glossary of the book, and this just didn't have it. So maybe I'll remember it more later on, but as of right now, it's not particularly working, that stuff. So I thought this book was like a solid 6.5 out of 10. Not a masterpiece, not a horrendous book, just it was fine. It was fine. I'll probably continue with the Dresden Files eventually, but it'll be, it'll be like October or November that I read the next book, because I'm not particularly excited about it, and I don't even own the next book yet, but I'll get to it eventually. So this is my review of Blood Rites. If you enjoyed the book, that's good for you. I'm glad you did. Let me know your thoughts. If you didn't enjoy it, did you have the same criticisms I did, or did you have other things that irked you? Let me know all those thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.